Hello students, welcome to Btech360. We've been doing a series of colleges for you which we think should be a part of your options when you're actually applying for any BTech colleges. All of you obviously would want to get into the IITs, the NITs, IIITs and all, but some of the colleges that we're talking of are hidden gems. They're very little known outside of the states where they belong to, but a lot of good companies go there for placement, and some of the placement outcomes that these colleges have are as good, if not better, than some of the bottom half of IITs, NITs, IIITs and GFTIs. And these are possibly private colleges, and by the way, these colleges are also accept students from beyond their particular state. These are state colleges, mind you, but they also accept students from beyond the state through some criteria. And in that series, we're going to talk of one more college which is based in Bangalore. Before I move further, three requests that I have for you. Please subscribe to Btech360. If you want to talk to us, there's a WhatsApp number, message us. And if you want us to cover any college, you can always give it a message in the message box and we'll be happy to cover that for you. And more importantly, we've covered about 7-8 such colleges till now. Please revisit all those colleges because it's very important for you to actually expand your option set so that you have more options to apply to or more options to actually target to get into those colleges. Not everyone will be a 98 percentile, not everyone will be a 99 percentile. So what are the options for you is what we're trying to explore for you and discover for you. And in that process, we're covering this particular college. This college was started in 1946, which means that we're talking of about 60 plus 20, 80 years of legacy. 80 years of legacy. Whenever you have a college which has been there for 80 years, trust me that the alumni would be all over the place. They would be occupying the senior most positions in most companies and your placement becomes that much more easier also. Which is what this college is about. It's been there for 80 years. Earlier it was a part of University of Mysore, then it moved to Visvesvaraya Technology University, which is VTU. It is based out of Bangalore. One more thing that we are doing as Career 360, because a lot of students and parents have asked us whether they can actually speak to us to understand how they can go around this KCET counseling process. So we set up a few sessions on KCET counseling only. You need to register in this thing. There is a comment, if you look at the first comment out here, there's a registration link that is there. This is only for KCET counseling. All you need to do is to register there or tell us what your examination and everything is and join our webinar where you can also ask questions to our counselors and we'll be able to respond to you. So if you want that, please, do register for this particular event. And most importantly, for people who are participating in that, we're also trying to speak to some of the colleges and universities to ensure that there are some perks that are given, which can be a free application form and those kind of things. So please do join that and take all those benefits if you will, right? This is BMS College of Engineering in Bangalore. Now, BMS College of Engineering in Bangalore was established, as I said, in 1946. It's a private college. It's a part of VTU. It's a private college, part of VTU, Visvesvaraya Technology University. It's spread over 15 acres of land. The total number of students is 6,960, of which 67% are boys and 32% are girls. The more important thing why we're covering this college is 20% of the students of BMS College of Engineering belong to outside the state of Karnataka. So your pathway is this one of this 20%. In fact, up to 25% students can actually come from outside the state of Karnataka and much more than that through COMEDK also if you actually strike COMEDK. Right. So about 20% come from outside the state of Karnataka and 74% come from Karnataka itself. And 6% students come from outside the country. Look at the aspirational nature of the college that about 6% of the students of BMS College of Engineering are from outside of India, which means it's so aspirational that people want to come here and study here. That's what this number is. And the faculty is about 424, which means we're dealing with 1:15 kind of a student-faculty ratio, which is very, very good. Now, let me explain to you why we're recommending this college. There are two sets of data I'm showing you. One is the NRF data, which is slightly dated, it's 2 years old, because we have data for 23-24 only. And then the current level of data, which is claimed by the college on its own website. So both will show you at this point in time. The first bit is the NRF data, which is submitted to the Government of India for the ranking purposes. This 2 years old because we're talking about 23-24 data. After that 24-25 happened and now 25-26 would also be happening as we speak, right? But this 23-24 data, if you look at it, 1,417 students graduated, 924 were placed, 100 students opted for higher studies, 70% placement rate and 8.5 lakh rupees as the median salary. Now, if you actually go back into history, if you see 93% placement, 78% and 70%, that's what the numbers of NRF are. And the median salary has been 8.24 lakh, 9 lakh and 8.5 lakh rupees. But actually, the issue with this college is that the kind of intake that you have, about 1,400 plus intake that they have, obviously increases the scale of operation, and to that extent the median also comes down, and at the bottom level, there is a bottom layer, you actually have some students not getting placed. Having said that, if you go through the right branches in this college through the quota that we're talking of, and there are multiple ways of getting into this college, then you are likely to get about the 13 lakh, 14 lakh, 15 lakh, 17 lakh kind of a package. And I'll show you how that happens also, right? Now you look at this particular thing. This is about the 2025 statistics declared by BMS College. In biotechnology, there are 14 students who were placed, and number of offers that these 14 students got was 18 offers, which means people got more than one offer also. In civil, 21 students were placed and 24 offers were there. For example, if you take computer sciences here, 167 students were placed and the offers that they had was 242. Similarly, in information science engineering, 157 students were placed and the offers that they had was 202. Similarly, if you look at this one, electronics ECE, 153 students were placed and 218 offers is what they had. Even civil engineering, 21 and 24 offers. Mechanical, 67 students were placed and 63 offers is what they had. And industrial engineering, 29 students were placed, 30. Now this seems to be an anomaly because you can't place 67 students and have only 63 offers. So I'm surprised how that whole thing works out. But this is the data that's out there on the website, and I'm just showing what it is there. I couldn't change anything, and I don't want to change anything also, right? Industrial engineering, 29 students were placed and they had 31 offers. Electronics and information, 25 students were placed and 30 offers is what they had. And you keep going down, artificial intelligence and machine learning, 91 students were placed and they actually had 137 offers. MCA, 58 students were placed, 81 students offers were there. And MTech, 59 students were placed and 66 offers are there. The advantage that BMS has is it's based in Bangalore. Whenever you have a institute like this based in Bangalore, your opportunities of getting a job are much higher because it's a startup capital of India, it's a software capital of India. So what you have is a lot of companies out there who are looking for people who are coming out of these kind of colleges. And that is the reason why you actually have these kind of offers that are coming in. Each of the branch that you have, whatever branch you take, you have multiple bunch of offers and those students do get placed also. Now moving further, when you look at the overall scenario, in 2025, you actually had 383 companies coming for placement. 383 companies coming to placement for BMS College. And the number of students placed was 968, almost close to what it was in the previous year. Internship was 775. The total number of offers that they had is 1,307. And the highest package was 51.5 lakh rupees per annum. And the average was 11.4 lakh rupees per annum. Which is what we are talking about. As you move up the ladder, of course, the median also will keep moving up as you move up the ladder. But the average salary of this particular institute has been about 11 lakh plus always. And the problem is a couple of branches is what derails the whole thing. But if you just remove those two branches or deal with it separately, then in some of the branches that you should be targeting, the average salary or the median salary would be about 12 lakhs and above only. Which is the reason why we are recommending this particular college, right? And there is one more, method by which you can understand the quality of the institution, which is the quality of students who actually join the college. And that also we'll talk about it here because, see, listen, it's like this. A good college should have good students, and because the good students are there, good companies come for placement. You remove the good students out of it, the good companies will stop coming for placement. So unless colleges start focusing on getting the best students out there to be studying with them, the best companies don't come for placement too. And that is what some of these colleges like RV College, PES College, BMS College work on, that they actually try to get the best students out of the examinations for which they actually get the students through counseling. Right. So we're actually dealing with a college which has about 11.5 lakh rupees kind of an average salary, while they're placing about 1,000 kind of number of students is about 968, close to 1,000. At that scale, to have that kind of an average salary is very good. And if you remove about 10-15% of the bottom, your average moves up for sure, but median salary will shoot up because the problem is some of the core engineering branches are bringing down the median salary, which is what seems to be happening here. Now the next part of it. How do you get into this college? There are three ways of getting into it. If you're a student of Karnataka, it's Karnataka's KCET. 45% of the seats of this particular college are determined by KCET through the common counselling. 30% of the students are from COMEDK, which is a common examination for all engineering and dental colleges in Karnataka. And about 25% of the seats are through management quota. Now, if you're a student of Karnataka, you can participate here and here, and possibly here also for Karnataka students. Right? Your rest of India, you cannot participate here. You can participate here. You can participate here. So ultimately, what you have is a strike at about 55% of the seats. The important thing that you must know is the KCET fees is very low. When you look at fees, it is very low here, very low here, it is low here, it is very high here. Across the board, when you look at the fees, for KCET, it is very, very regulated because the state actually controls the fees dramatically. Each of you, when you get into it, can easily get into the whole thing. And by the way, they have aided and unaided also. Aided would also have, in my opinion, a lot of fee regulations that happen, or maybe scholarships also being given in. Right. So when you come through KCET and you get the right rank, the fee is extremely low, and you can actually, it's very, very affordable for you. COMEDK, it is slightly more expensive, but still very affordable because it's still controlled by the state government of Karnataka. But management quota, the fee is very high. If you have the money, you can get into this because the college is good. A lot of people ask us, how do they get through it through management quota? This is one pathway, which is through the management quota, 25%. The fee is higher. And by the way, these guys are so transparent. This college is so transparent that they actually put the management quota fees on its website. So there is nothing hanky-panky, there is nothing shady. Everything is on the paper above board, and you need to pay for it and get into it. Right. Now, what are the seats that they have? And these are by the way unaided. There is also an aided component of 300 seats is what I understand. Aerospace, they have 60, artificial AI and machine learning, they have 60, biotechnology 60, chemical 60, civil 120, computer science 180, electronics and ECE 120, electronics and instrumentation is 60, electronics and telecommunication is 60, information science and engineering is 180, mechanical 120, medical electronics 60, in all 1140. Besides that, they also have 300 aided seats. Possibly they come through KCET quota is what I understand, but that's something that we still are unclear about. But these are the number of seats that you have across the branches. What is the eligibility criteria? 12th pass for general merit, plus English, 45% aggregate in physics and math, and plus one optional subject. It's very easy for anyone, and for other categories, 40%. And the optional subjects are chemistry, biology, biotechnology, computer science, electronics. Best optional subject can be replaced by chemistry if marks are lower. So when you actually do the PCM thing, it can also replace. And the entrance exam from where they take it, as I told you, is KCET or COMEDK. KCET and COMEDK. So essentially you need to write KCET and COMEDK and get into this college. The fee I told you earlier, the aided seats is 43,000 only. There are 300 seats about it. And then you have unaided where the fee is for 83,526. So of the 40% seats that you have out there, remember 45% seats is what you have of KCET, 30% is from COMEDK and 25% from management quota. Of the 45%, about 300 seats are aided where the fee is just 43,000 rupees per year, which means the fee is about 1.5 lakh rupees over the 4-year term. Then you have the unaided, but through KCET only, where the fee is 83,000 rupees per annum, which is about 3.5 lakh rupees by the time you 3.3 lakh rupees by the time you finish it over 4 years. And then you have COMEDK, which is 2.21 lakh rupees, which means we're dealing with about close to 9 lakh rupees for the entire 4-year course duration. So what are we talking of? The aided fees all put together is 43,000 into 4, which is 1,672, right, 1.72 for aided. The unaided is 83 into 4, which is about 3.3, right, and this one is 2.22, which is about 8.88 or 9 lakh. That is the fee structure that you have if you come through the common counseling through KCET or COMEDK and within aided and unaided. So essentially what's happening is they've ensured that there is some kind of an equity where people who cannot pay or cannot afford to pay or don't have money come through the aided quota and ensure that they're still studying there in BMS College. And that is 300 seats. So we have 1140 seats for unaided. You also have 300 seats for aided also. What do you have here? Then we talk of management quota. I earlier talked of the 45% for KCET and 30% for COMEDK, which we discussed earlier, and we spoke about the fee also, which goes up to 9 lakh rupees. Starts with about 1.6 lakh rupees and goes up to 9 lakh rupees, right? Now the management quota. Here the fee is almost 10 times of what we're talking of. For CSE, it is 15 lakhs per year. It is per year, remember that, which is about 60 lakhs over the 4 years. AI and machine learning, 12.5 lakh rupees. AI and data science, 12 lakh rupees. CSE data science, 12 lakh rupees. CSE IoT and cybersecurity, 12 lakh rupees. Computer science business systems, 10 lakh rupees. Electronics and communication, 9 lakh rupees. Biotechnology, 7 lakh rupees. Civil electrical is 6 lakh rupees. And chemical engineering is 4 lakh rupees. So that is the kind of fee that you're dealing with, which means you're dealing with 60 lakh rupees to 16 lakh rupees. That's the fee, 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 48 lakhs, 48 lakhs, 48 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 36 lakhs, 28 lakhs, 24 lakhs and 16 lakhs. So essentially what we're talking about is a college where the fees from 1.7 lakh rupees for people who need aid to 60 lakh rupees for people who actually have the money and come through the management quota. That's the kind of range that we're talking about, and which is where opportunity is that you can actually get into anything depending on your ability and your merit and those kind of things. If you have merit, come through the normal quota. If you don't have the merit and still have some money, then you can come through the management quota also. So that is the number that we're talking of. Now, other part of it. If you want to come through KCET, aided and unaided, how does it work? Last year, in KCET examination, 3.11 lakh students actually appeared for the examination. So this is a first number that you must remember, 3.11 lakhs. Because from here on, the ranks that we talk of, which is the highest closing rank in the open category, is what we'll discuss. Because that will tell you the quality of students that they actually take. Right? 3.12 lakh is the number of students who appeared for KCET examination. Now, for computer science, the highest closing rank is 3,870. When you remember 3.12 lakhs, we are essentially talking of 98.8 percentile. For B, computer science and data science, it's 4,585, which is about 98.5 percentile. For B, artificial intelligence, 4,646 is the highest closing rank in the open category, KCET rank, where 3.12 lakh students took the examination. So 4,646, again we're dealing with 98.5 percentile. Then B, electronics, 4,794, 98.4 percentile. And B, artificial intelligence and machine learning, 5,087, 98.2 percentile. Now that is the quality of students that we're talking about here. The quality of the students is such that you need to be at least 98 percentile and above to come through the KCET score into this particular college, which your fee is about 1.7 lakh or about 3.5 lakh rupees. It's half essentially, but through KCET, which means you should be a citizen, a student who is domiciled in Karnataka, and you are eligible to get into the Karnataka domicile quota here, which is 45% seats. That is KCET, as far as KCET is concerned. Now let's get to COMEDK. In COMEDK, anyone from all over the country can appear for this examination, including students from Karnataka. And why do they do that? Because the fee is slightly higher, but most importantly, the competition here is not as much. Because remember, in KCET, 3.12 lakh students took the examination. Here, 1.13 lakh students took the examination. Registered is 1,13,937 and appeared is 1,13,111. And 150 colleges actually accept the COMEDK score, and the total number of seats is 26,827 across all the colleges in Karnataka. So COMEDK is an entrance examination held by the state of Karnataka to admit students based on merit from all over the country. It's a very unique thing, which is very unique to only Karnataka. No other state has it. No other state has an examination like COMEDK where students from all over the country are invited to be a part of the thing at a differential price structure, differential fee structure, which is what the state of Karnataka does. And that is the reason why Karnataka is so cosmopolitan, because it's got diversity sitting there. Right? Now, when you look at this, remember how many students took the examination? 1.13 lakh students took the examination. Of that, 5,312 is the highest closing rank as far as computer science is concerned. Now, at that, we are dealing with about 95 percentile. So now look at it, the number of students fell down and the percentile also is falling here. 1.13 lakh students only took the examination. And there you got a 5,300 rank, which is about 95 percentile. And then B, computer science and engineering, data science, 5,610 is the highest closing rank in the open category. B, artificial intelligence and data science, 5,885. B, computer science and engineering, 6,143. And Btech computer science and business systems, 6,650. So we're dealing with 95 percentile to 94 percentile or 93 percentile, 94.5 percentile. So that is the number, sorry, 94% or less than that actually, right? So we're dealing with a lesser competition, but the fees still moderate, mind you, by the standards that we are known of, because the fee now these days for all colleges is 3.5 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh per annum kind of a thing. Here it is still 2.21 lakh only, which means all put together your fee would be only 9 lakh rupees plus the hostel and living expenditure. There are not many engineering colleges of this stature which actually get you, offer you a seat at such a low fee and still go through the motions, right? So which is what we are dealing with. We're dealing with about 9 lakh rupees kind of fees. And you're getting BMS College, which is one of the better colleges where the most quality students through KCET examination go and admit themselves there. Right. Now, what are the companies that come for placement? It's based in Bangalore, so you actually have the best of the companies coming for placement. Amazon comes for placement, Microsoft, Google, Adobe, Qualcomm, Intel, Goldman Sachs, Oracle, Cisco, IBM, Accenture, Deloitte, Capgemini, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Ericsson, Siemens, Dell Technologies, HPE, Akamai, NetApp, Nutanix, Netscope, Cloudera, Honeywell, Bosch, L&T, Commvault, Cohesity, Schneider Electric, Philips, Shell, Volvo, Mercedes, Caterpillar, Toyota, Kirloskar, Benz. So you have automotive companies, you have electrical manufacturers, you have manufacturers, you have a lot of, again, medical technology people, then you have a lot of tech companies, and then you have consulting companies, then you have investment banks, and then you have banks. There is nothing that's missed out here. And the reason is simple. When you have been there for what's 80 years, your alumni would be working all over the place, and they would be rising up the ladder and be sitting on the topmost positions in those companies, and they will invariably come back to help their own institution get good placement from themselves, which is the reason why this happens. And of course, it's based in Bangalore, which is the hub or the capital of India as far as software industry is concerned, and now the startup industry also. We also looked at, we also need to corroborate this particular data with how the students who studied at BMS College of Engineering, how are they performing in their life, where are they domiciled, where are they working, what kind of companies, and where are they located. When we looked at that data, we found 51,736 students on LinkedIn who claimed that they studied at BMS College of Engineering. 51,736. Of this 51,736, right now 298 are working in Deloitte. Right now 292 are working in IBM. Right now in Accenture, 331 students are working. And in Oracle, 292 students are working. At some point in time, 1,093 students worked in Oracle. 1,547 students worked at Accenture. IBM 1,433 worked, and Deloitte 758 worked. So these are the large companies where so many students are working, which essentially means that these companies go there for placement, because of which this happens. Then moving ahead, the large trillion-dollar companies. That's very important for us, of how the large companies which make big offers, how are they placed. So we already showed you that those companies actually come here for placement. Now, when we look at that data also, it is corroborating, because 53 students are working in Meta right now. Apple, 122 students are working. In Amazon, 276 are working. Nvidia, 67 are working. And Google, 137 are working. In fact, at some point in time, in Amazon, 788 students worked. At some point in time, Google, 430 students worked and then moved on from there for better pastures, greener pastures, and that would have happened. But this is the kind of a outlay that you have, that so many students who studied at BMS College of Engineering are working in the trillion-dollar companies, and all put together, if you see, about 600 of them are working in biggest companies that you have in the world. Right. Now, the next part of it, we also looked at where are they located, where are they placed, where are they domiciled. When we look at that data, again, this is very stark number. 78% of the students work in India, which means 22% of the people work around the world. 22% people work around the world, of which 11% students work in USA. 5,613 students who studied at BMS College of Engineering are right now working in USA or located, placed in USA, or have shifted base into USA. Now, that's again a very large number, mind you. A college in Karnataka, not even a university, a college, a state college in Karnataka, affiliated to a university, has 5,600 plus students working in USA. And then if you work in UAE, if you work in Canada, and so on and so forth. But 22% of the students work outside of India, which is a very, very good, strong number. And of course, of the 78%, 67% work in Bangalore, because all the companies are in Bangalore. Because the companies that are recruiting in Bangalore, obviously they'll be placed in Bangalore, which is what the number is. If you look at all these numbers, there is one thing that very clearly tells you that BMS is something that you should be looking for and keeping it as an option. If possible, write the COMEDK examination because you can avoid the management quota route. Appear for the COMEDK examination. And most importantly, keep it as an option because for certain of the branches, what I showed you, 11.4 lakh average across all the branches, which means that some of the branches we're talking about, the average will be 15 lakh and above. And that's a great career opening for you if you were to get into this college, in the branch of your choice, which has greater student outcomes. I just hope this information helps you make the choices. We've already done about 7-8 of the other colleges. Please look at them also because what we're doing is talking of about 30 such colleges or 30 such options that you must be looking at. And in that, BMS is one of them. If you want me to cover any other college, please write to me and I'll be happy to cover that. And most importantly, please subscribe to Btech360. Thank you so much. Namaste.